Well, a large drug bust had Mammoth Lake's denizens buzzing last week. According to a press release from the Mono County Sheriff's Department, on Thursday, September 6th, the Mono County Narcotics Task Force, that's MONET, along with assistance from the Mono County Sheriff's Department and Mammoth Lake's Police Department, concluded an extensive investigation for the sales of cocaine in the town of Mammoth Lakes. Now, last Thursday morning, according to that press release, MONET agents served a search warrant in the town of Mammoth Lakes, and that resulted in the arrest of Jack Jerry Colby, age 70, of Mammoth Lakes for suspicion of sales of cocaine. The search warrant resulted in the seizure of over $19,000 in cash, which the press release states were proceeds from the sales of narcotics. Agents recovered scales, packing materials, over 1.5 pounds of cocaine, 1 gram of methamphetamine, and a small amount of marijuana. Jack Jerry Colby was taken into custody at the Mono County Jail in Bridgeport, and charges are pending with the Mono County District Attorney's Office. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this story. The good news, Mammoth Lakes Tourism has reported that July through November of 2011 brought in the highest transient occupancy tax revenues in the past 7 years. The less than good news, December through June of 2012, TOT was down 15% compared to 2011. But better news is that, taken alone, June of this year was up 18.5% compared to last June's TOT. Now, Mammoth Lakes Tourism Director John Erdy also reported to the Mammoth Lakes Town Council last week that July is, quote, on pace to set another record fast approaching $1 million, end quote. Now, residents of Mammoth Lakes hardly know how to respond to all of this since the dreadful news of the huge $43 million Mammoth Lakes land acquisition debt still hangs over the town. However, Erdy remained upbeat as he told the town council that his organization has worked to collect TOT along with the town. Erdy said that Mammoth Town government has issued more than 140 new transient occupancy tax certificates, collected more than $220,000 in new TOT revenue, and opened nearly 200 cases for follow-up regarding illegal rentals. Erdy once more declared success for summer of 2011 air service. Now, he pointed to Mammoth Lakes Tourism's contribution of $417,000 toward 2011 air-related matters. Erdy offered research data when he reported that for every dollar Mammoth Lakes Tourism spends on direct marketing, he says $136.13 is returned to the community in visitor spending, and $4.02 returned in tax revenue to the town. Now, in his end-of-the-year report, Erdy said that the organization expanded a $1.1 million marketing budget value to $6 million, and this was through cooperative advertising, partnerships, and value-added contracts. Joint promotions took place with KCBS Radio, Yosemite National Park, Alaska Airlines, Extreme Pizza, The Price is Right, and others. Plus, segments on Mammoth Lakes aired on NBC's Today Show with articles in other media. Now, the big question currently unanswered is, how will a settlement with MLLA impact funding efforts like Mammoth Lakes Tourism? Now, more information on that may come out within the next 2 weeks. The Mammoth Lakes Town Council has scheduled another special meeting and closed session on bankruptcy proceedings that was scheduled for this evening. Now, last week, Assistant Town Manager Mariana Marashiva Martinez said she will go public with all the details once a final settlement agreement is signed. Now, the Mammoth Lakes Town Council scheduled with what they called a community update on the tentative settlement with MLLA and Terry Ballas when they met last Wednesday night. Mayor Matthew Lehman immediately turned the item over to Martinez. She said, quote, as I stand before you, I don't have answers for the community. We have not finalized the agreement yet, end quote. Now, Martinez echoed what Town Manager Dave Wilbrecht said last week. Details are being worked out with MLLA and Terry Ballas, the original developer. Now, Martinez said she hopes to be back before the Mammoth Lakes Town Council and public with news at the next council meeting, and that is on September 19th. But she admitted, we simply don't know. Well, another note from Mammoth Community Development Director Mark Wardlaw will be leaving the town of Mammoth Lakes to lead the newly revamped County of San Diego Department of Planning and Development Services. And this is according to a press release from the town of Mammoth Lakes. Now, prior to becoming the Community Development Director of the town of Mammoth Lakes in 2005, Wardlaw served as the Deputy Community Development Director and Planning Manager in Culver City. And prior to that was the Principal Planner for the Center City Development Corporation in San Diego. The press release states he will assume his new duties with the County of San Diego on September 21st, 2012. Now, according to the press release, the town of Mammoth Lakes congratulates Mark on his new appointment with the County of San Diego and wishes him all the very best in his new endeavor. This is from town manager Dave Wilbrecht, who said that Mark was instrumental in shaping the future character of this community and, more recently, leading efforts on economic recovery and achieving long-term economic sustainability. Now, there are no plans by the town of Mammoth Lakes to advertise or fill the position, and you can see more on this story on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, Bennett Kessler filed the following report. A large drilling rig continues work started last month by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and this is taking place east of Independence. DWP had issued a press release to say that the drilling contractor, Roadrunner Drilling and Pump Company, would drill a total of 4 wells, and are spelled out in the long-term water agreement. The well in Independence, according to DWP, will supply water for what is called the Independence Regreening Project. Now, according to the Inyo Water Department website, the regreening project amounts to flood irrigation of about 30 acres. Inyo County says DWP will select a lessee to establish the area as irrigated pasture land. Now, the newly drilled well will also serve as supplemental water supply to the Independence Town water system. In the 1991 Environmental Impact Report on DWP's pumping, it is stated that fluctuations in water tables due to groundwater pumping have, quote, caused approximately 655 acres of groundwater-dependent vegetation to die off, end quote. Now, during public meetings on the water agreement, citizens objected to use of more groundwater pumping to mitigate damage done by groundwater wells. Now, the other 3 wells will replace existing wells that DWP said are, quote, very old and in poor condition, end quote. Now, these wells include one for the Enhancement Mitigation Project on the east side of Lone Pine, the Aqueduct Supply Well on the north side of Georges Creek, and an irrigation supply well northeast of Laws. DWP says these 3 wells will be drilled one at a time following completion of the Independence well. Now, on the Independence project, DWP said, quote, some drilling work, installation of casing pipe, gravel packing, and grout sealing will result in continuous operation for up to several days, end quote. Officials also said that noise control devices will be used and nighttime lighting will be directed away from homes in the area. DWP also issued a press release last week, and this was cautioning customers to be aware of imposters posing as utility personnel making service-related telephone calls. Now, the press release states that these imposters seek to obtain money from customers over the phone by claiming the customer has an overdue bill. The imposters tell the customers to go to a nearby pharmacy and call a specific telephone number back with the customer's financial information. An increasing number of LADWP customers are reporting being targeted by this scam. DWP is aware of the scam and urges customers to be vigilant in protecting their personal and financial information. The press release states LADWP will never call a customer seeking personal banking information. If you would like to report suspicious activity to the DWP, call their security services at 213-367-3373 or the website ladwp.com. Click under Security Issue and contact us. We'll be back with more news.